I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor. I will honor those things which are good, true, and beautiful. Respect. I will show respect to others at all times. Service. I will do good things for others without being asked. Excellence. I will strive for excellence in all things. Perseverance. I will fulfill commitments and not give up or act on discouragement. Please join me for a moment of silence. Okay, well, I hope that you all are ready for a great day today. Was anybody disappointed that there ended up not being any snow?
Yes.
We'll have snow sometime this winter.
I never go out and
Okay,
play.
let's start on some phonogram review this morning. Please take out your whiteboard and marker. And I'm going to turn off the chat. Boys and girls, please remember to stay on mute unless you are called upon. Okay, let's begin with the phonogram. Oh, sorry. Two-letter k always used only after a single letter that says Let me do that from the beginning. Two-letter k used only after a single vowel, which says And think of a word that uses it as well. Black Beauty, perfect. Hold it up when you're done, please. All or Blackie as a little nickname, Adarsh. That's cute. Hold it up when you're done. Locket, good word choice, Darshika. Or Jack, his nickname. Duck, chicken, black. So many good word choices. Okay, next please write ch, three-letter ch, used only after a single vowel, which says Ch, three-letter ch. Arjun, I should see you writing. Adarsh, I don't know if smotch is a word, but if it was, I would use this. Kind of fun to do nonsense words because we would know exactly how to pronounce that word, even though it's not a word that we would find in the dictionary, because it's phonetically correct. Next, please write the phonogram G, two-letter G, always followed by a vowel. G, two-letter G, always followed by a vowel. Guilty is a great word choice for this one. Guinea pig, guilt. Gun or gum would actually not work for this one, Drisha, even though that's a good thought, because it's not followed by a vowel. Remember that it's always followed by a vowel. So we would need to have something afterwards. The U ends up being silent when it's like G, U, and then a vowel. The U ends up being silent. So like guilty, guess, guest, very nice. Sai has a bunch of great examples on his. Guard and guinea pig are Nethra and Saisonovs. Those are both really good too. Okay, let's do some spelling word review now. Starting with distinguish. Distinguish. These words are on the test tomorrow. Tomorrow is a mastery test day. So if there are some words you're still really struggling with, you might take out your binder and have your parents like read aloud some words for you to write down. Or maybe just off the top of your head, you remember some of the words that are a little bit harder for you, and you could just practice writing those words a little bit more. So distinguish looks like this. Next, would you write relief? Like, whew, that was a relief.
Wait, you did not do any markings on it.
Saisanov. You should do markings. Just because I'm not, I want you to still have the practice of doing markings unless it's a mastery test. Relief. We should have E-I piece of pie for that second E sound. Next, let's do raise. Raise. Raise your hand. Don't look down at the raise your hand button, though. Raise. Okay, next. Probable. Let's do probable. And probably. Probable and probably. probable, probably. One of the most common mistakes I see is that some people forget the second B or like just write one B in general. So make sure that for these ones that are longer, especially, you sound out each part of it so that you don't kind of forget a single phonogram or a syllable in general. So probable. So for that test tomorrow, just make sure you're really sounding out each part of it as you write. Probable, probably. Okay, let's do one more. How about retire? Retire. Very good. I says its name in this word because of a silent finally job one. Retire. Okay, that's all for review. Would you take out your binder and I'm going to start a new lesson. By the way, sorry for the delay in getting the poem, The Crocodile, in Bright Thinker, but it is there now. So it should also be on your to-do list to make sure that you review it today, but then it's going to stay in Bright Thinker also for you to do just anytime you want. If you go into the literature folder, then to poetry, find The Crocodile, and you can watch it as many times as you want. Let's say it as we get ready for our next spelling lesson. The Crocodile by Lewis Carroll. How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale. How cheerfully he seems to grin. How neatly spread his claws and welcomes little fishes in with gently smiling jaws. The Crocodile by Lewis Carroll. This poem actually came from a different poem called How Doth the Little Busy Bee. So we'll look at that later on in class today. The other poem about a little busy bee. So kind of like you guys did with Androcles and the lion, you made your own story based off of that story that was like a model. That's actually what Lewis Carroll did. He created his poem based off of the model of another poem. How doth the little busy bee. Besides, now those are some cool pencils or pens. They look fancy.
They actually have an ink pen inside, but we don't have any ink.
Oh. So it's supposed to have an ink cartridge that like slides into it. Okay. Our first word for today is the word suggest. Would you all say suggest? Suggest. Suggest is very similar to a word that we had in Roots yesterday, advise. You know how advise means like you look and tell your point of view. Like, I advise you to wear a winter coat today or put on some rain boots. I advise you. Suggest means basically the same. To suggest something means you give your opinion of what you think someone should do. Like, I suggest that you look over your notes before taking a test. Suggest. Does anybody have a sentence with suggest in mind? Could you use it in a sentence for a sigh?
I suggest the cat was the robber.
Ooh, you suggested that the cat was the robber. Maybe there was some evidence to suggest that, using another root from yesterday, evidence. Devansh, do you have a sentence for us?
I suggest you to watch the Black Beauty movie so you can find out the differences.
Nice.
And bless you.
Thank you. Nice sentence. You suggest everyone watch the movie. Who's going to take Devansh up on his suggestion to watch the Black Beauty movie? Okay, so suggest. Fingers under your chin to say it with me, please. Suggest. 2 syllables. And the first syllable, what sounds do you hear? G. 3 sounds. Basic code. What are the next sounds that you hear? Suggest. J, s, t. 4 sounds. That's another g, j, saying its second sound. Suggest. Usually when we have a double consonant, one is silent, but this is kind of like accept, like I accept the invitation where one is saying the first sound, the other saying the second sound. Pick up your pencil and write suggest. Suggest. There's a t sound at the end. Thumbs up if you're finished. Cameras are working so I can see your thumbs up, thankfully. Nice. Okay. G, syllable break. J, t. Suggest. Our first syllable is basic code. Yvonne, could you keep yourself on mute, please? There's a little background noise. Thank you. Second syllable, what marking do we need to do for this? Good job. Excellent, Adar. 2 on top. That's all. The rest is basic code. To suggest is a verb. It's an action to say, I suggest that you allow Augustus Caesar to be the dictator. He would make a good dictator. He did make a good dictator. Suggest. Let's turn it into a noun. Suggestion. For suggestion, we're going to move that t to the next syllable as part of the -shan suffix. Suggestion. And it says a ch sound, but it's just the -shan suffix. Please write suggest, -shan suffix. Thumbs up if you're done with suggestion. G, syllable break. J, syllable break. So the second syllable is the same, but we're moving the T to the last syllable in the Sean suffix. Who got it right?
Miss Ghana, can you go down?
Yes. Oh, sorry, that was kind of high. Is that better? Okay, suggestion. How many of you got it right? Nice. Okay, so suggestion. Basic code syllable over here, once again, 2 on top of that, g, j. And our normal Sean suffix markings we're going to do, but also it says a ch sound, suggestion. So we're also going to put a thinking cap on the sh. Okay, when there's a Sean suffix, what part of speech is it? Adarsh, what part of speech is something when it has the Sean suffix? Like my suggestion is to get your mom a nice Christmas present. The Sean suffix makes it a noun. Okay, when you see that Sean suffix, it helps you know it's a noun. Okay, next word is going to be a history word that many of you might be able to guess. Okay, here are some hints as to what the next word is. It has to do with ancient Rome. It is a word that we learned about the Roman government. Senate. Get something in mind?
Senate?
It also, don't unmute ourselves without permission. I hear several people interrupting. Third clue is that this is something that our government still has today in America that we used to model after the Romans. Who thinks they know what the spelling word is? Shatish?
Elect or election?
Very good guesses, but neither of those. Chris, do you have a guess? This is what the Romans had to represent people from the country.
Wait,
today in America,
president?
What's that?
President?
No.
Or president?
It is a word that starts with the first letter of Simon Tyson's names. Netra, you got to keep yourself muted until you're called upon, sweetheart. Who thinks they know it? Ahana?
Senate?
Correct. Senate.
I thought it was senator.
Senator is another one we are going to be learning today too. And Netra, you had actually said it correctly. You guessed it right immediately. Excellent job on that. But I wanted you to wait until you were called upon. So Senate is our next word, boys and girls. And I continue hearing quite a few people with background noise. Please make sure you keep yourself muted until you are called upon. Yes, ma'am? Thank you. Okay, our word is Senate, but we think to spell Senate. Like Sen ate a hamburger. If there's a person named Sen, you could imagine it that way. Okay, Senate. Now, this word can be a common noun or a proper noun, but we're not going to capitalize it. We're just going to write it as the common noun. Okay? Senate. Would you sound it out with me? Senate. 2 syllables. What are the sounds in the first syllable? S. Good job, Rashi. 3 sounds. Rashi, Rihanna, and Darshika are doing a great job of sounding out each of the sounds. Basic code. What's in the next syllable? Senate. A, t. 2 sounds. A says its name because of a silent final E. Job 1. Pick up your pencil and write Senate. Yes, Devansh?
Should S be capital in Senate?
I gave that answer. Did you hear what it was?
No.
Okay, let me say it again. So it can be both. It could be a proper noun or a common noun, but we're just going to write it as a common noun, which means you don't need to capitalize it. But it's a great question because sometimes it is a proper noun that we would capitalize. Sen, syllable break, a, t, silent final E, senate. Okay, we say Senate though, right? Senate. Would you say Senate? Senate. That's the way we would pronounce it. Okay, Senate. How do we mark this? A says its name because of a silent final E, job 1. But it's in an unstressed syllable, so it says Senate. So thinking cap on that one too. This is a noun. Now, senator is our next one. And for senator, it's going to be senator. Do we need the silent final E anymore? Nope, we drop that silent final E and add the phonogram or. So senator. Please write senator. Syllable break a, syllable break t, or. Senator. But we say senator. And that's because it's in a final unstressed syllable, just like doctor. Okay, let's mark it. And oh, by the way, this one's also, we're just going to have a lowercase s. That one just looked kind of big. But it can be a proper noun. We're just going to write it normally, though. Okay. Sin, basic code. A says an sound, so thinking cap. Senator is the way we say it because it's a final unstressed syllable. So thinking cap on that phonogram or. Senator is also a noun. This is a person. This is a thing. Okay, for the dictated sentence, who's ready? Okay, for the dictated sentence, let's say the senator made a wise suggestion for the dictator. The senator made a wise suggestion to the dictator. Anybody need it one more time? The camera's not working very well. So yes, of course. The senator made a wise suggestion to the dictator. Okay. Could you click raise hand when you're done with that sentence, boys and girls? The cameras aren't working, so I'll just need to use that feature instead. And as always, let's write some sentences of our own. So continue working on that, but let me just see hands up for those people who are done with the dictated sentence. Okay. The senator made a wise suggestion to the dictator, which also has or saying in a final unstressed syllable. The senator made a wise suggestion to the dictator. I'd love to hear some of the sentences that you created now. Would anybody like to share theirs? And please lower your hand so I can see who actually has hands raised now. Nethra, would you like to share yours?
Can I share my sentences from Tuesday?
Let's just share the ones for today.
All the way to Thursday.
I'm sorry. I'd love to hear your sentences though.
The teacher suggested I gave my suggestion on who was the first senator of the Senate.
Nice. Lots of spelling words in that one. Okay, Arjun, could you share yours?
Most of it is the same, but it's a little different. The senator gave a suggestion to the Senate to kill the dictator.
Oh, very Julius Caesar themed, right? Okay, Rashi?
That's what I was going to say, to kill Julius Caesar, but then it would make more sense if I just did dictator since it's
So it's kind of about like Joe Biden, and it's like this. It's also about the news. Joe Biden suggested that he will raise the taxes.
Oh, interesting. Making it modern and current.
Because actually
That actually connects well to Princess and the Goblin in the first chapter that we read as well.
Because actually Joe Biden does that. So more people could go to the doctors.
Yes, there's all sorts of reasons that taxes end up being raised. Some good reasons, some bad reasons. But there are a lot of good things that get paid for because of the taxes that grown-ups pay.
Mm-hmm.
Darshika?
The Senate acts. I suggest I want to be the Senate. She suggests I want to be the Senate. The senator didn't listen to both of us. He told I'll be the senator.
That is a lot going on in that sentence. Okay, let's hear one more from Devansh, and then we're going to have a little bit of time to review our jingles and go through the format of the well-ordered language test that some of you have already taken today. Yes, Devansh?
Did you hear me? I think I was on mute.
Nope, I did not hear you.
One of the senators from the Senate suggested he go get the documents from the police, and the other senator suggested that is a good suggestion.
Lots going on with senators, senates, and suggestions. Okay, nice job, everybody. Let's review our well-ordered language jingles now, and time to stand up and move around and dance. We have 3 jingles that are from the chapter that we are going to be testing over today. And one of them, the antecedent jingle, you'll be filling in some questions on the test based off of the lyrics. Okay, let's start off with the pronoun jingle. Would anybody like to sing the pronoun jingle for us? Rashi, could you sing it for us?
Okay.
A pronoun is.
Wait, 1 moment. Okay. A pronoun is a part of speech used in the place of a noun or nouns. A pronoun is a part of speech used in the place of a noun or nouns. A pronoun is a part of speech.
Ooh, beautiful, Rashi. Very nice finish. Okay, would anybody like to sing the subject pronouns for us next? Cameras aren't working very well for me right now, so maybe you could just click raise hand. Drishya, would you like to do that one for us?
Can you start me off with the tune?
Yeah. Subject pronouns are.
Subject pronouns are in the nominative case. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Subject pronouns are in the nominative case. I,
Nice. Oh yeah, you can keep going one more time.
I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Subject pronouns are in the nominative case. I think that's it.
Yeah, good job. Well done, Drisha.
I also have a question.
Uh-huh.
In the well-ordered language thing that you gave us today, like that, it says like this is in part 2, and then it's like what the thing that you gave for Black Beauty.
We'll go over that format in
So I
just a
didn't know.
minute. Yep, we'll go over that in just a minute. And then if you've already taken it and made a mistake on it, then I'll let you redo it. But I think it'll make sense once we go over the format. Okay. And the final jingle is the antecedent jingle. Who would like to do that one for us? Chris, do you want to try it out for us? The antecedent is a noun, clause, or phrase.
Okay. And I one phrase to which pronoun refers. If the antecedent is singular, then the pronoun is singular too. Dun, dun, dun. What if the noun goes a phrase? Then the pronoun is plural too. Dun, dun, dun. I think that's all.
The antecedent determines.
And then goes bubba. Determines which pronoun refers.
Ba-bum,
I
bum.
think I remember until that.
Good job. Okay, I'm going to present
that
my
one.
screen over to our Bright Thinker page now so that you all can see what we're doing for our test today. It's a slightly different format than what you've seen, so I wanted to go over what that looks like for you. Okay, so there's 2 parts to this well-ordered language test. Okay. For part of it, you are going to choose the correct verb to go with the subject pronoun. Subject-verb agreement is something we've talked about with our subject pronouns. There are certain helping verbs that go well with certain pronouns. It's called subject-verb agreement, that certain ones go together. So in this case, they blank memorized the entire poem. Would you say have or has? Devansh?
Your presentation is still loading.
Okay, I'll call on somebody
Oh,
else
gosh.
then. Arima, could you help out with what word we would
They
choose?
have it. It's have.
Okay, thank you, Devansh. Okay, Rima, I'll get you for the next one. So yes, we would choose have, not has. And then choose the correct, it's basically the opposite of this, correct pronoun to match the verb. If there's an S at the end, like plays the piano, there are only some pronouns that actually can go with it. Arima, what is one pronoun that would go well and agree with the verb plays?
She.
You could just kind of think, she, excellent. So I would not work, I plays. You plays would not work. He or she, both of those would work. Then you've got a jingle here, the antecedent song, fill in the missing parts. The antecedent is a, what's the first word missing? Size enough?
It's a noun.
Good. And size enough, I'll have you help for the rest of it too. The antecedent is a
Noun, clause, or phrase with a pronoun refers. If the antecedent is singular, then the pronoun is singular too. But if the noun, clause, or phrase is plural, then the pronoun is plural too. The antecedent determines which pronoun is used.
You've got to do that dun-dun-dun at the
I
end.
don't really want to do that.
It's the best part. Ba-bum-bum. Thank you, Ahana. Okay, so
Let's on the next last question. I had a question.
okay, just this one.
Yeah, I mean this it's it, he and she can play the piano, right?
So, any of those would work. And with these fill in the blank ones, it's going to bounce back to the teacher and I will check your answers. So it might have said it's automatically wrong, but that's because I have to look over it and then I'll give you credit for if it's correct. So for those of you who've taken this already, these ones that are fill in the blank, it probably said that your answer was wrong, but that's because it has to go to the teacher, and until I grade it, then it's just counted as incorrect. Okay, down here for analyzing the sentences, it says complete this in part 2 of the test, and there's a separate part 2 where you can actually upload a picture of your work. But I wanted to walk through another way that you are able to do it if you would like to. Okay, so if we have a sentence, let me choose a different sentence, like the senator waited patiently. Okay, there's your sentence, not Senate. Above each of these words, you may label them like this. Or let's go all the way over to senator. Senator is the subject. Back over to it's your adjective describing senator. Waited is a predicate verb. Patiently is an adverb modifying waited. Now, we don't have the arrows. However, these are labeled correctly, and you may fill in this part of the test in this way. If that's the case, you don't actually have to do part 2. You can just click it as done and not upload anything. So for those of you who haven't done it yet, you may label your words in this way, and you can fit in all of your sentences just like this. And then you could do sentence 2 and label on top of each word. Okay? So if you haven't done the test yet, feel free to do it in that way. And that's what I'd like to start doing in the future with the next tests, is labeling it in that way, because even though you're not drawing your arrows, this is a good way to have it all on one page so that we don't have always 2 parts to the test. Okay? Any questions about that? And then I'll get to the questions in just a minute. The last part, it's numbered. Fill in the following chart of subject pronouns. So this is from our song in the same order. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. So just put them in the exact same order down here as we sing it in our song and as it is in the chart. Okay, any questions about the well-ordered language test now? And please lower your hand if it's not for an actual question. Nethra, do you have a question?
I was about to lower my hand.
Oh, okay. Anybody else? Arjun?
Wait, I just forgot to do something on it. Can you reassign it to me?
Yes, I would be happy to. Anybody else?
'Cause,
Questions?
Me too.
Because I just went to Brighton and I uploaded and X'd it out, and then I was like, no, I just forgot that part.
Okay, I will reassign it to you. Devansh?
Yeah, so actually that part that you were just showing us, that analyze sentence thing, that one is optional, right? Because I already did part 2 and I didn't do that question, so.
Yep, absolutely. So if you already did it somewhere else, I'll just look at the work that you submitted for part 2 and then give you points on the other test based off of that.
So I shouldn't write anything in that blank.
You
in
don't
part one?
have to, but in the future, that's what we're going to do for well-ordered language tests. I'm going to have you label it in the text box like that.
Okay.
One more thing, Ms. Gardner.
Yes, Arjun?
But like when you have a direct object, what if your adjective, like they won't know if the adjective is describing this or the other. Like it might not know which adjective it's describing.
I know. So it's not as accurate as as when we have the arrows, but it's just easier because it can all be on one page for that test. It's just pretty complicated to go back and forth between two parts in one test. And so just for the sake of the test, no arrows, but in all of the other practice that we do, I do want you to have arrows pointing to the correct word. Does that make sense? Just to simplify it so that it's one test rather than it always being two parts to one test. Rashi?
I actually forgot to lower my hand, but like, but like, could you? So actually, I didn't really do what Devon said. Like, this is where you have to like label it. So is it okay if I just like do it in the second part?
Yes, absolutely. You can just still do it in the second part. It's just that from now on, for the rest of the year, when we do well-ordered language tests, we're going to do it that way, where you label it in the text box.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, Darshika? And we've got to keep it pretty short. So if it's just specific to you, like assigning it to you again, just email me about that. Okay. Darshika?
I have a question. Yeah, what if you did number 5 and so you don't have to do part 2, right? So we can just submit it.
Yeah, you can just submit it with nothing attached.
Okay, yeah, because I did the question number 5.
Okay. So yeah, if you already did it in the test, then you don't have to do it for part 2. Rihanna?
Same with Arjun.
Okay. If you want your test reassigned, you'll have to send me an email so I don't forget, because that's going to be, I can't do it right now. I'll have to do it about an hour from now. So just send me a little email to remind me later. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Adarsh, do you have a question? Oh, you just left and joined the meeting again. Okay. Last quick question from Drishya.
So I did, like, I now I understood it, and then I actually did the part like where you type it in, and so I tried submitting the one without the attaching it, but when I clicked it, it's like you didn't attach anything and you can't submit it.
I think that if you just say something in the chat box, then you should be able to still submit it. If you just say like, I did it on part 1, Miss Gardner, and then you can just submit it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it works that way.
Yeah, because that's
let
what
me
I
know if that doesn't work for you.
Okay.
And I would appreciate if you could write a little message like that, just in case I forget, for you to say, I already did it in part 1, Miss Gardner, just as a reminder. Adarsh? Do you have a question, bud? Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with Adarsh. I'm not able to see his picture. Okay, well, let's start on orthography. We're going to write our words from today in orthography notebook, and then do a little review of the Crocodile poem. We have a roots quiz tomorrow, and I've got a new Kahoot game for us to review at the end of class today, to review all of the Latin and Greek words that we've learned this week and before Thanksgiving break. But take out your orthography notebooks for now. We're going to write our words from today. on page 48. Okay. For lesson 43, the first word was suggest. Please write suggest. After that, please write suggestion. Suggestion. Then please write Senate. Senate. And finally, senator or senator. Okay, we'll sort first on page 12 today, because we had the word suggest today, which is a good synonym of the word advise, which was one of our derivatives that we learned from the Latin word video. They both mean basically to look into a situation and tell your point of view. So suggest and advise. Adarsh, do you have a question?
Which page is it?
Page 12. Okay. The other place we're going to sort is the noun page, which is 24. So on page 24, we've got nouns that are people, places, things, and ideas. The left column is for who or people, and the right column for what or things. So we're going to write senator in the who column, since a senator is a person, and write senate in the what column. Senator and senate.
Page
24. Okay. Who's done with the whole orthography sort? Excellent. Okay, we are going to do a little bit of review of our poem. And then I've got a little introduction to our math lesson. We're starting a new math chapter today because we did a test yesterday. So we're going to start harder multiplication based off of math facts that we've already been practicing. And today we're going to focus on some mental math where we are able to multiply numbers that are multiples of 10 or 100 in our head. You can mentally multiply numbers in the hundreds based off of a little strategy we're going to do today. But first, I want to show you that little poem called How Doth the Little Busy Bee? To show you how similar it is to the Crocodile poem, which Lewis Carroll really modeled his poem after this one. This poem is a nice little poem about how it's important to stay busy and really use our time well to be productive. And then Lewis Carroll had his in Alice in Wonderland, which is very sinister and kind of evil, with the crocodile welcoming his little fish in. So he took a sweet children's poem and made it a little bit sly and scary. But that was kind of the point of, in a lot of things with Alice in Wonderland, there's characters who are not what they appear to be. They're really tricky characters. Okay, let's read this poem called How Doth the Little Busy Bee? And I'd love for some volunteers to read a stanza at a time. So this is a poem called by Isaac Watts called Doth the Little Busy Bee. Who would like to read the first stanza of this one? Could I have Dricia read stanza 1?
How doth the little busy bee improve each shining hour, gather honey all the day from every opening flower. Okay, that's it. Ms. Gardner,
Yes?
that's the end of the stanza.
Oh, sorry, you're right. I was thinking of the 2 stanzas, but you're exactly right. Now, Dricia, do you notice some similarities already?
Like improving shining tail, and it says here improving each shining hour.
Very good. How
And
doth
then-
the little busy bee improve each shining hour instead?
Tail.
And instead of pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale from every opening flower.
Like it's very
Okay.
similar.
It's very similar, yes, because Lewis Carroll modeled his after this one. Nethra, would you read stanza 2 for us?
How skillfully she builds herself, how neatly she spreads the wax, and labors hard to store it well with the sweet food she makes.
Excellent. This one bothers me because it's makes and wax, they don't rhyme. However, so it kind of breaks up the rhyme scheme. How skillfully she builds her cell, how neat she spreads the wax, and labors hard to store it well with the sweet food she makes. So the bee works so hard every single day, really using her time well. Could I have
As well, I thought they were supposed to
everything else rhymes every other line? Sell and well, our flower. Actually, bee and day don't, though. So it is just a different rhyme scheme altogether. Okay, Adarsh, would you read stanza 3, starting with in works?
In works of labor or Can I restart? In works of labor or of skill, I would be busy too, for Satan finds some mischief still, for idle hands to do.
Excellent. And this part is a common older phrase where that like basically bad things sometimes happen if you're idle, which means you're not busy enough. So if you don't have things to do, sometimes you get into mischief and do things that are kind of naughty and that you shouldn't do. So sometimes staying busier keeps you doing good, productive things instead. Okay, last stanza in books. Could I have, let's see, who have I not really heard from today? Sai, would you read the last stanza?
Okay. In books or work or healthful play, let my first years pass, that I may give for each day some good account at last.
Good. Which means we should be able to say at the end of each day and week, oh, we've done something really good today. Just like the little busy bee. So it's a sweet little poem. I can put that in Bright Thinker for you as well, even though that's not one that we're going to memorize. But it's kind of fun to see the comparison, isn't it? Arjun, did you notice any other similarities?
No, but that was my question. Is it a poem that we're going to study?
No, like it's not in our poetry book, but it's just interesting to see because even great poets will sometimes kind of copy off of other poets, which is something that we do sometimes. And so I would like for us next week, I think we'll have time for this, to write our own poem that's using some of the same lines where you choose a different animal, just like the crocodile and the bee. It could be how doth the little panda bear, or
And you know what we did?
The cute dolphin.
Inside second grade, we did that too. And then I wrote one where like a mouse uses a duck or something for a car, and then something, and then something. But what is the next poem we're gonna learn after this?
Next, we're gonna do a really short one called For Want of a Nail, which basically it's about horses and about how even if there's a little nail loose on a horse's horseshoe, then a lot of bad things can happen. And I think that we did that with Rock Media a little bit.
Yeah, we saw that one time.
So we're going to just do it a little bit more after we're done with these recitations because we just have 1 week that's like a short one before Christmas break. And so we're going to review that one again. But then after that, we'll do Ella Telephony or Ella Telephony, which is a really fun one. We'll do that after Christmas break. Okay, at this time, take out your math notebooks. We're going to take some notes today. An introduction to our next math unit and walking through a cool strategy for solving some longer multiplication problems mentally. So you need your math notebook. And then after this, we'll do a quick little roots review. You've got a quiz tomorrow for roots. Sai, do you have a question? Oh, he left on accident. Okay. So we are going to start a new unit on multiplication where we're putting into practice all of the multiplication facts that we've been using into some harder multiplication. So we'll eventually get to these ones where we are stacking our numbers and solving similar to what we did with addition and subtraction. but this time for multiplication. Today we're going to look at a mental strategy where we actually can multiply numbers that are multiples of 10 and 100 mentally. So problems like 5 times 40, you'll actually be able to do in your head. Or even 5 times 4,000. Are you all ready to figure out how to mentally solve problems even as hard as in the thousands? Because you can. You totally can. Okay, so we can multiply by tens or hundreds mentally by finding a simple math fact like 5 times 4, which equals 20. And from that, we're able to solve harder ones like 5 times 40 and 5 times 400. So in 5 times 40, take off the 0, remove that 0, and it's just the math fact 5 times 4. What's 5 times 4 equal to? Rashi?
20.
20, correct. Now, if 5 times 4 is 20, 5 times 40 is basically like saying 5 times 4 tens. Well, the answer is 20 tens. 5 times 4 tens is 20 tens, and we write that as 200. Or a simpler way to do it is just to think we're adding on a 0 to the 4. So we're also going to add a 0 to our answer. So we add a 0 to the 20. Now it's 200. Here's 5 times 400. And 5 times 400, it's just 5 times 4, which equals 20. And then since there's 2 zeros at the end of the 4, we're going to add 2 zeros to our answer. So it's 2,000. Using this strategy, you would be able to do numbers in the thousands or even millions, possibly mentally, if you just know to add on as many zeros as are at the end of this number. Okay, let's put it into practice. So in your math notebook, let's start off with a header. Today is December the 3rd, 2020. This is math lesson 7.1, and we'll continue 7.1 tomorrow as well.
Can you just say it's an intro or something?
You could do it that way too, yes. Okay, so let's write first that example that we just did. Now, 5 times 4 equals 20. So 5 times 40 equals 200. We add on as many zeros as were there to the end of our answer, the product. 5 times 400 has 2 zeros. So we would add 2 zeros also to our answer. So we have 20 plus another 2 zeros, 2,000. So it's still 20, and then we add on as many zeros as are at the end of this number. Yes, Adarsh?
Do we have to use a
Can
color
I
pencil?
highlight it?
Yes, you can. If you've got colored pencils or highlighters nearby, you can do it just like mine. And I think that could be really helpful.
Do you have to?
No,
Can
you
we
don't
just
have
use
to.
pencil?
It's just
Can
to
we
help you
just-
see that we're adding 1 0. Nethra, make sure that you stay muted until you're called upon, sweetheart.
Okay.
Nethra, go ahead and raise your hand if you have a question, though. Nethra, do you have a question? Yes, go ahead.
Can we use a pencil for the part you just highlighted with color pencil?
Yeah, you could use normal pencil just to underline. That works. Okay, so using this logic, let's do some problems like 6 times 60. Not times 6, but 6 times 60. Now, first of all, who can tell me what multiplication fact we can use to help us solve it? Tatish, do you know what multiplication fact we can use to solve 6 times 60?
6 times 6 and add a 0.
That's right. We've got 6 times 6. Solve that, and then we're going to add a 0.
It would have been a little bit harder if you turn one of these digits into 66. A 6 and add 1 more 6.
Oh, that would be a little bit harder. Can you do that mentally still?
Well, yeah, I can do that. Well, about mentally, I can try.
Yeah, I'd love for you to try.
I can do it in a click on paper, but like
6 times 66?
That's what he was talking about, yes. But let's not distract other people with that one yet. That would be a good extra challenge. Now, Arima, could you tell us your answer to 6 times 60?
Um, 360.
Excellent. 360, because 6 times 6 is 36. And then we just add 1 0 because there's 1 0 here. Okay, let's do a few more. 400 times 2. 70 times 3. 20 times 9.
Can you go down, Ms. Gardner?
At that for now. Okay, solve those 3 and then click raise hand as soon as you're done and we'll go over the answers. Click the raise hand button as soon as you're done with these 3. Okay. Arima, Ahana, are you still working? Okay. Arima, if you're done, would you click raise hand?
I did. It's not working.
Oh, okay.
It's lagging.
Okay, good to know. But you are finished. Ahana, let us know when you're done. And then I would love for, let's have Krish do number 3 for us. Darshika, would you do number 4? And Rihanna number 5. Okay, let's go over those answers now.
So 400 times 2 equals to 800.
Perfect.
Because if we do 4 times 2 equals to 8 and then add the 2 zeros equals to 800.
Perfect. Well explained too. Okay, I think I said Darshika number 4. Okay, Darshika, would you tell your answer and how you got it?
Yeah, so for 70 times 3, I got 210 because 7 times 3 equals 21 and 0 times 0 is 0, so it's 210.
Perfect. Next, 20 times 9.
I got 20 times 9 because I multiplied 2 times 9 and added 0 to it.
So what's your answer?
180.
Excellent, because 2 times 9 is 18. Add that 0. How do you all feel about this? You guys did really well. We'll continue practicing this more tomorrow as well. And at this time, we are going to do a little roots review game, and then we'll start reading groups. Excellent, Devansh. That looks great. Okay, I've got a Kahoot game for you all to play. And we'll play it just like yesterday, where I'll present my screen, but also you can just bounce back and forth between the screens. So our game pin, it's loading. Here's the website, and the game pin is 210-7858. Who thinks they know their roots? And please just write your name so that I can immediately tell who it is.
Oh, I accidentally wrote the name that I did yesterday.
Me too.
Okay, that's fine.
But I did a new one.
That's okay. But for those of you who aren't, please do just your own name.
I did a different.
Do you guys like the music?
Is Argent 2011 okay?
No.
Since it
Yep,
still has
that's
my
fine
name.
because it still has
It's
your
about
name.
3.
Is that the year you were born too?
Why does my name never work?
I'm sorry, Shatij. I don't know what's going on with yours.
I see your nickname on the screen, but I don't. It works.
I don't see it either.
Well, it works for me, but I cannot see my name.
I'm not Arima has joined us. Who is it if it's not Arima?
Arima.
That's why. I'm not gonna play this.
You're what?
I'm not playing because it's not working.
I'm sorry, Shatij. I don't know why it doesn't work for you.
Well, actually, I could just still play, but
Can you send it again?
I'll not be on the.
Maybe you could try on your iPad if you have an iPad.
Can you send it again?
Yes, I'm doing it now.
Miss Gardner should try on a whiteboard like Nearpod.
Yep, that would work, Shatij. You could write it on the whiteboard. Or Darshika's got it on her iPad. You can get the app and play that.
Who am I? Am I DFD? I think I'm
Okay,
DFD.
it looks like we're waiting on just a
I
couple
won.
of, one more. Oh,
Yes,
Shatish,
I'm
you made
on
it.
it. I think. Wait, I'll leave once, and can you see? I'm gonna leave once. Yeah, it's with me.
078.
Nice.
Wait, can I just quickly do it? I'll just quickly do it.
Okay, I think we've got everybody.
Wait, no, wait, I'm almost in.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now we've got everybody. Okay, our first question. The Greek word which means to see, look, consider, or examine. Which of these is the Greek word that means that? Scopio or video wisum? I'll give you a hint. It's not the one from this week. It's the one from before Thanksgiving. To see, look, consider, or examine. Greek word. Scopio, good job. 11 of you got it right. Valkyrie was the fastest, but a lot of people got that right. Which one is all that the eye can see? Which one is all that the eye can see? Microscope, kaleidoscope, scope, or periscope? All that the eye can see. Still waiting for one more answer. Okay, 11 of you got that right. Great job. Scope is the correct answer. Valkyrie is still in the lead. Then Ahana, then Arima, then Devansh. Which is a device for seeing changing beautiful forms or arrangements of small fragments of glass. Changing beautiful forms. Which one is a device that helps us to see all of these changing shapes and colors? Periscope, kaleidoscope. Oh, wow, you guys were fast. Kaleidoscope, 13 of you got it right. Device for seeing around obstacles. Which one is a device for seeing around obstacles like water? Telescope, periscope, kaleidoscope, or television? This is one that I think we ended up not writing a card on, so I'm going to make sure it's not on the quiz, but periscope is correct. Excellent. Did we make a card of periscope? Yeah, I think I forgot to have that as a card, so I'll make sure that's not on the quiz, but great job. Next question, a device to look at small objects. Microscope, telescope, periscope, scope. Small, keyword. One more. Microscope, 14, all 14 got it right. Great job, everybody. Valkyrie still in the lead, followed by Ahana, then Arima, then Drishya. Next question, it's the Latin word to see. Scopio or video wisum? All of our words this week are derivatives of this. Video wisum. Waiting for one more answer. 10 of you got it right. Good job. On the quiz tomorrow, there won't be a question like this, so it's just going to separate the Scopio words and the video words. But know that the Latin words a lot of times will have these two words, and a lot of the Latin words end with um, and it's the V pronounced as a W. Okay. Next question. These are all video derivatives. A machine for seeing things that are far away. So find the one that means far away as well. That's the other word that's going to be part of this word. Is it video, evidence, look and tell your view, or television? Good job. 10 of you got it right. Television, because tele means far away. Television is a machine for seeing things that are far away. Changing up our top 5 a little bit. Out of what one can see. Which of these is out of what one can see? Like trying to deduce information. You've got some clues. Figuring out what you can solve based off of what one can see. Evidence is the correct answer. Most of you said invisible. So evidence, I know that's a tricky definition, but when we see evidence, like at a crime scene, for example, if there's a detective trying to figure out things, evidence is having some basically things that they see that they can figure out things from. I might change up the quiz a little bit to add a little bit more explanation to that so it's more clear. Okay, next. Changing up the leaderboard a little bit more. Oh, Saisanov taking over in 2nd place. Way to go, Saisanov. And Valkyrie is on a hot streak. Who's Valkyrie? Oh, Rihanna. Great job, Rihanna. Next question. Not to be seen. Which one means not seen? Invisible, video, or advise? Not to be seen. Waiting on one more answer. All 14 of you got it. Good job. Invisible. Valkyrie and Saisanov still in the top 2. Arima right behind in 3rd place. Look and tell your view. This is like suggest. Is it evidence, invisible, telescope, or advise? To look and tell your view or your point of view. The answer?
Periscope was actually on the quiz.
Do we have a card?
No, we don't have a card for Periscope, but it's still on the quiz.
How do you know it's on the quiz?
Because if you go to the roots folder, you can do it.
You shouldn't be able to. It should be hidden. That's not for until tomorrow, Devansh.
Also on your to-do list. It's also on your to-do list, so I already did my quiz.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess you missed out on a chance for more review. Okay. So all 14 of you got that right. Great job, everybody. Third place is Arima. I'm not Arima. Sorry. Somebody who's mysteriously not Arima. Got third place. Second place was Konstanov. First place, Valkyrie. Rihanna. Great job, Rihanna. And great job, Saisanov and Arima for second and third places. Well done.
Miss Gardner, I'm not on the
Okay.
podium. That's not me.
Are you sure? Who could it be? Who could it possibly be?
It's
Why would someone say I'm not real?
Any of a billion, several billion people, but it's not Arima. I know it's not Arima.
I think so.
Yeah,
Why would someone have a nice Rima?
Okay, boys and girls.
Who's
That's my reading.
Case closed.
I need just my reading group to stay with me now.
Not Arima.
Nathra, sweetheart, keep yourself on mute.
Bye.
I want Shatish, Ahana, Adarsh, and Sai to stay with me. Everybody else, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye, 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 bye,
Arima. Miss Gardner, who is not Arima?
I don't know.
bye,
Hi, everybody.
bye. Adarsh, Arima? Is Arima in our class? I don't remember about Arima. Why is Arima and Chris still here?
I don't
They're
know.
frozen anyway.
Bye, Arima. Bye, Chris.
Actually, never mind.
Okay,
Can you all help me think of where we left off in Chocolate Touch? I know we're close to the end.
And I think we have to stop recording.
He went
Thank
bobbing
you.
for
Yes, we will
hours.
stop recording now.
I think we're
Bye, everybody watching.
I think we're